Good evening and a very warm welcome to distinguished members of the Indian diaspora and colleagues from embassy to this program on 17th Pravasi Bharaitya Divas convention, which was held in Indore from 8 to 10 January this year. The Pravasi Bharaitya Divas celebrates the achievements of overseas Indians and also provides an opportunity to them to engage with the government of India and to be in contact with each other. This year's convention was significant as it was organized in physical format after a gap of about 4 years and the first after the onset of COVID-19 pandemic. Over 3,000 diaspora members from nearly 70 countries participated in the convention. Members of Indian diaspora who have reached the highest echelons of respective fields, from heads of states, members of legislatures, CEOs of multinationals, scientists, researchers, artists, educationists participated in the convention. The President of Cooperative Republic of Guyana, His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Irfan Ali, was the chief guest, while President of the Republic of Suriname, His Excellency Mr. Chandrika Persad Santokhi, was the special guest of honor in this year's convention. To commence with today's program, I request Deputy Chief of Mission Ambassador Shri Priya Ranganathan ma'am to present her remarks first.
Good evening, namaskar. Very warm welcome to all members of the Indian diaspora who are present here on this occasion as we celebrate the 17th Pravasi Bharaitya Divas. As my colleague has just mentioned, we held a very well attended convention in Indore, whereby we celebrated the contributions of our overseas Indian community towards the development and progress of India. The Pravasi Bharaitya Divas recognizes the contributions of the Indian diaspora around the world in the development of our nation. January 9 was chosen for this purpose to mark the occasion, the day in 1915 that Mahatma Gandhi, the greatest of Pravasis, returned to India from South Africa to lead India's freedom struggle and change the lives of Indians forever. In India's journey as an independent nation, the contribution of our Pravasi Bharatiyas is significant. Today's India has made great strides and we have been recognizing and marking each of these achievements in our Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. From the field of agriculture to space, India has made its own mark in every conceivable field of human endeavor. Today, India is better placed to face the increasing challenges and complexities that the world encounters. Today's India is an indispensable part of the solutions to global challenges, be it in healthcare, be it in food security, or in critical technologies. In this process of nation building and progress, the Indian diaspora continues to be a critical pillar, and I would take this opportunity to appreciate the positive work that it has been doing. I am delighted to recognize two Indian diaspora members from the USA, Shri Raj Subramaniam, President and CEO of FedEx Corporation, and Shri Darshan Singh Daliwal, a US-based businessman and philanthropist, who were awarded the prestigious Pravasi Bharatiya Samman by Honorable President of India this year. This award came in recognition of their contribution for creating a better understanding of India abroad, support for India's causes, and work for the welfare of the local Indian community. More generally, the Indian diaspora in the USA has been outstanding for its remarkable achievements across different walks of life. From the US administration to the Hill to professionals and CEOs of multinational companies, entrepreneurs, academics, scientists, the list goes on. This is illustrative of the overall strength of the Indian American diaspora, and we are truly proud of its achievements. Once again, I thank you for your incredible contributions to brand India, and we warmly invite you to continue to be a part of India's dynamic and equitable growth and to be a stakeholder in our blueprint for further success and achievements. Thank you.
Thank you for presenting your thoughts, ma'am. Taking today's program forward, I request to play the inaugural address of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi at the convention held in Indore.
गुयाना के राष्ट्रपति डॉक्टर मोहम्मद इरफान अली जी, सूरीनाम के राष्ट्रपति श्री चंद्रिका प्रसाद संतोखी जी, मध्य प्रदेश के राज्यपाल श्री मंगूभाई पटेल, मुख्यमंत्री शिवराज सिंह चौहान, विदेश मंत्री श्री एस जयशंकर जी, मंत्रिमंडल के अन्य सहयोगीगण और प्रवासी भारतीय दिवस सम्मेलन में विश्व भर से पधारे मेरे प्रिय भाइयों और बहनों, आप सभी को 2023 की मंगल कामनाएं। करीब 4 वर्षों के बाद प्रवासी भारतीय दिवस सम्मेलन एक बार फिर अपने मूल स्वरूप में अपनी पूरी भव्यता के साथ हो रहा है। अपनों से आमने सामने की मुलाकात का, आमने सामने की बात का अपना अलग ही आनंद भी होता है और उसका महत्व भी होता है। मैं आप सभी का 130 करोड़ भारतवासियों की ओर से अभिनंदन करता हूं, स्वागत करता हूं। भाइयों और बहनों, यहां उपस्थित प्रत्येक प्रवासी भारतीय अपने अपने क्षेत्रों में असाधारण उपलब्धियों के साथ अपने देश की माटी को नमन करने आया है। और ये प्रवासी भारतीय सम्मेलन मध्य प्रदेश की उस धरती पर हो रहा है जिसे देश का हृदय क्षेत्र कहा जाता है। एमपी में मां नर्मदा का जल, यहाँ के जंगल, आदिवासी परंपरा, यहाँ का अध्यात्म, ऐसा कितना कुछ है जो आपकी इस यात्रा को अविस्मरणीय बनाएगा। अभी हाल ही में पास ही उज्जैन में भगवान महाकाल के महालोक का भी भव्य और दिव्य विस्तार हुआ है। मैं आशा करता हूं आप सब वहां जाकर भगवान महाकाल का आशीर्वाद भी लेंगे और उस अद्भुत अनुभव का हिस्सा भी बनेंगे। साथियों, वैसे हम सभी अभी जिस शहर में हैं वो भी अपने आप में अद्भुत है। लोग कहते हैं कि इंदौर एक शहर है, लेकिन मैं कहता हूं इंदौर एक दौर है। ये वो दौर है जो समय से आगे चलता है फिर भी विरासत को समेटे रहता है। इंदौर ने स्वच्छता के क्षेत्र में देश में एक अलग पहचान स्थापित की है। खाने पीने के लिए अपन इंदौर, अपन का इंदौर, अपन का इंदौर देश ही नहीं पूरी दुनिया में लाजवाब है। इंदौरी नमकीन का स्वाद, यहाँ के लोगों के यहाँ पर जो पोहे का पैशन है, साबूदाने की खिचड़ी, कचौरी, समोसे, शिकंजी, जिसने भी इसे देखा उसके मुंह का पानी नहीं रुका और जिसने इन्हें चखा उसने कहीं और मुड़कर नहीं देखा। इसी तरह 56 दुकान तो प्रसिद्ध है ही, सराफा भी महत्वपूर्ण है। यही वजह है कि कुछ लोग इंदौर को स्वच्छता के साथ साथ स्वाद की राजधानी भी कहते हैं। मुझे विश्वास है यहाँ के अनुभव आप खुद भी नहीं भूलेंगे और वापस जाकर दूसरों को यहाँ के बारे में बताना भी नहीं भूलेंगे। फ्रेंड्स, दिस प्रवासी भारतीय दिवस is special in many ways. We celebrated 75 years of India's independence just a few months ago. Our digital exhibition related to our freedom struggle has been organized here. It brings the glorious era in front of you again. Friends, the nation has entered the Amrit Kal of the next 25 years. Our Pravasi Bharatiya have significant place in this journey. India's unique global vision and its important role in the global order will be strengthened by you people. साथियों, हमारे यहां कहा जाता है स्वदेशो भुवन त्रयम, अर्थात हमारे लिए पूरा संसार ही हमारा स्वदेश है। मनुष्य मात्र ही हमारा बंधु बांधव है। इसी वैचारिक बुनियाद पर हमारे पूर्वजों ने भारत के सांस्कृतिक विस्तार को आकार दिया था। हम दुनिया के अलग अलग कोनों में गए, हमने सभ्यताओं के समागम की अनंत संभावनाओं को समझा। हमने सदियों पहले वैश्विक व्यापार की असाधारण परंपरा शुरू की थी। हम असीम लगने वाले समंदरों के पार गए, अलग अलग देशों, अलग अलग सभ्यताओं के बीच व्यावसायिक संबंध कैसे साझी समृद्धि के रास्ते खोल सकती है, भारत ने और भारतीयों ने करके दिखाया। आज अपने करोड़ों प्रवासी भारतीयों को जब हम ग्लोबल मैप पर देखते हैं तो कई तस्वीरें एक साथ उभरती हैं। दुनिया के इतने अलग अलग देशों में जब भारत के लोग एक कॉमन फैक्टर की तरह दिखते हैं तो वसुधैव कुटुंबकम की भावना उसके साक्षात दर्शन होते हैं। दुनिया के किसी एक देश में जब भारत के अलग अलग प्रांतों, अलग अलग क्षेत्रों के लोग मिलते हैं तो एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत का सुखद एहसास भी होता है। दुनिया के अलग अलग देशों में जब सबसे शांतिप्रिय, लोकतांत्रिक और अनुशासित नागरिकों की चर्चा होती है तो मदर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी होने का भारतीय गौरव अनेक गुना बढ़ जाता है। और जब हमारे इन प्रवासी भारतीयों के योगदान का विश्व आकलन करता है तो उसे सशक्त और समर्थ भारत इसकी आवाज सुनाई देती है। इसलिए ही तो मैं आप सभी को, सभी प्रवासी भारतीयों को विदेशी धरती पर भारत का राष्ट्रदूत, ब्रांड एम्बेसडर कहता हूं। सरकारी व्यवस्था में राजदूत होते हैं, भारत की महान विरासत में आप राष्ट्रदूत होते हैं। फ्रेंड्स, your role as India's brand ambassador is diverse. You are brand ambassadors of Make in India. You are brand ambassadors of yoga and Ayurveda. You are also brand ambassadors of India's cottage industries and handicrafts. At the same time, you are also brand ambassadors of India's millets. You would already know that 2023 has been declared by the United Nations as the International Year of Millets. I appeal to you to take some millets products with you while returning. You also have another important role to play in these rapidly changing times. You are the people who will address the world's desire to know more about India. Today, the whole world is waiting and watching India keenly with great interest and curiosity. It is important to understand why I'm saying this. साथियों, पिछले कुछ वर्षों में भारत ने विकास की जो गति प्राप्त की है, जो उपलब्धियां हासिल की हैं, वो असाधारण है, अभूतपूर्व है। जब भारत कोविड महामारी के बीच कुछ महीनों में ही स्वदेशी वैक्सीन बना लेता है, जब भारत अपने नागरिकों को 220 करोड़ से ज्यादा वैक्सीन डोज मुफ्त लगाने का रिकॉर्ड बनाता है, जब वैश्विक अस्थिरता के बीच भी भारत विश्व की उभरती अर्थव्यवस्था बनता है, जब भारत विश्व की बड़ी इकोनॉमी से कॉम्पीट करता है, टॉप 5 इकोनॉमी में शामिल होता है, जब भारत दुनिया का तीसरा सबसे बड़ा स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम बनता है, जब मोबाइल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग जैसे क्षेत्रों में, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के क्षेत्र में मेक इन इंडिया का डंका बजता है, जब भारत अपने दम पर तेजस फाइटर प्लेन, एयरक्राफ्ट कैरियर, आईएनएस विक्रांत और अरिहंत जैसी न्यूक्लियर सबमरीन बनाता है, तो स्वाभाविक है दुनिया और दुनिया के लोगों में क्यूरियोसिटी होती है कि भारत क्या कर रहा है, कैसे कर रहा है। लोग जानना चाहते हैं कि भारत की स्पीड क्या है, स्केल क्या है, भारत का फ्यूचर क्या है। इसी तरह जब कैशलेस इकोनॉमी की बात होती है, फिनटेक की चर्चा होती है, तो दुनिया ये देखकर हैरात में है कि विश्व के 40% रियल टाइम डिजिटल ट्रांजैक्शन भारत में होते हैं। जो स्पेस के फ्यूचर की बात होती है, तो भारत की चर्चा स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी के मोस्ट एडवांस देशों में होती है। भारत एक बार में 100 सैटेलाइट लॉन्च करने का रिकॉर्ड बना रहा है। सॉफ्टवेयर और डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी के क्षेत्र में हमारी ताकत दुनिया देख रही है। आप में से बहुत से लोग भी इसका बहुत बड़ा जरिया है। भारत का ये बढ़ता हुआ सामर्थ्य, भारत का ये दमखम, भारत की जड़ों से जुड़े हर व्यक्ति का सीना चौड़ा कर देता है। वैश्विक मंच पर आज भारत की आवाज, भारत का संदेश, भारत की कही बात एक अलग ही मायने रखती है। भारत की ये बढ़ती है ताकत आने वाले दिनों में और ज्यादा बढ़ने वाली है। और इसलिए भारत के प्रति जिज्ञासा, भारत के प्रति क्यूरियोसिटी भी और बढ़ेगी। और इसलिए विदेश में रहने वाले भारतीय मूल के लोगों की, प्रवासी भारतीयों की जिम्मेदारी भी बहुत बढ़ जाती है। आपके पास आज भारत के बारे में जितनी व्यापक जानकारी होगी, उतना ही आप दूसरों को भारत के बढ़ते सामर्थ्य के बारे में बता पाएंगे और तथ्यों के आधार पर बता पाएंगे। मेरा आग्रह है कि आपके पास कल्चरल और स्पिरिचुअल जानकारी के साथ साथ भारत की प्रगति की अपडेटेड इंफॉर्मेशन होनी चाहिए। साथियों, आप सबको ये भी पता है, इस वर्ष भारत दुनिया के G20 समूह की अध्यक्षता भी कर रहा है। भारत इस जिम्मेदारी को एक बड़े अवसर के रूप में देख रहा है। हमारे लिए ये दुनिया को भारत के बारे में बताने का अवसर है। ये दुनिया के लिए भारत के अनुभवों से सीखने का, पुराने अनुभवों से सस्टेनेबल फ्यूचर की दिशा तय करने का अवसर है। हमें G20 केवल एक डिप्लोमेटिक इवेंट नहीं, बल्कि जन भागीदारी का एक ऐतिहासिक आयोजन बनाना है। इस दौरान विश्व के विभिन्न देश भारत के जन जन के मन में अतिथि देवो भव की भावना का दर्शन करेंगे। आप भी अपने देश से आ रहे प्रतिनिधियों से मिलकर उन्हें भारत के बारे में बता सकते हैं। इससे उन्हें भारत पहुंचने से पहले ही अपनत्व और स्वागत का एहसास होगा। साथियों, और मैं तो ये भी कहूंगा कि जब G20 समिट में, क्योंकि कोई 200 मीटिंगें होने वाली है, G20 समूह के 200 डेलीगेशन यहां आने वाले हैं, हिंदुस्तान के अलग अलग शहरों में जाने वाले हैं। वापस जाने के बाद वहां पर रहने वाले प्रवासी भारतीय उनको बुलाएं, भारत में गए थे तो कैसा रहा, उनके अनुभव सुने। मैं समझता हूं कि उनके साथ हमारे बंधन को और मजबूत करने के लिए अवसर बन जाएगा। साथियों, आज भारत के पास न केवल दुनिया के नॉलेज सेंटर बनने का, बल्कि स्किल कैपिटल बनने का सामर्थ्य भी है। आज भारत के पास सक्षम युवाओं की एक बड़ी तादाद है। हमारे युवाओं के पास स्किल भी है, वैल्यूज भी है और काम करने के लिए जरूरी जज्बा और ईमानदारी भी है। भारत की ये स्किल कैपिटल दुनिया के विकास का इंजन बन सकती है। भारत में उपस्थित युवाओं के साथ ही भारत की प्राथमिकता वो प्रवासी युवा भी हैं जो भारत से जुड़े हैं। हमारे नेक्स्ट जनरेशन युवा जो विदेश में जन्मे हैं, वहीं पले बड़े हैं, हम उन्हें भी अपने भारत को जानने समझने के लिए कई अवसर दे रहे हैं। नेक्स्ट जनरेशन प्रवासी युवाओं में भी भारत को लेकर उत्साह बढ़ता चला जा रहा है। वो अपने माता पिता के देश के बारे में जानना चाहते हैं, अपनी जड़ों से जुड़ना चाहते हैं। ये हम सबकी जिम्मेदारी है कि हम युवाओं को न केवल देश के बारे में गहराई से बताएं, बल्कि उन्हें भारत दिखाएं भी। पारंपरिक बोध और आधुनिक नजर के साथ ये युवा फ्यूचर वर्ल्ड को भारत के बारे में कहीं ज्यादा प्रभावी ढंग से बता पाएंगे। जितनी युवाओं में जिज्ञासा बढ़ेगी, उतना ही भारत से जुड़ा पर्यटन बढ़ेगा, भारत से जुड़ी रिसर्च बढ़ेगी, भारत का गौरव बढ़ेगा। ये युवा भारत के विभिन्न पर्वों के दौरान, प्रसिद्ध मेलों के दौरान आ सकते हैं या फिर बुद्ध सर्किट, रामायण सर्किट का लाभ उठा सकते हैं। वो आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के तहत हो रहे कार्यक्रमों में भी जुड़ सकते हैं। साथियों, मेरा एक और सुझाव है। कई देशों में भारत से प्रवासी कई सदियों से जाकर बसे हैं। भारतीय प्रवासियों ने वहां के राष्ट्र के निर्माण में अपने असाधारण योगदान दिए हैं। हमें इनकी लाइफ, उनके स्ट्रगल्स और उनके अचीवमेंट्स को डॉक्यूमेंट करना चाहिए। हमारे कई बुजुर्गों के पास उस जमाने की कई मेमोरीज होगी। मेरा आग्रह है कि यूनिवर्सिटी के माध्यम से हर देश में हमारे डायस्पोरा के हिस्ट्री पर ऑडियो, वीडियो या लिखित डॉक्यूमेंटेशन के प्रयास किए जाएं। साथियों, कोई भी राष्ट्र उसमें निष्ठा रखने वाले हर व्यक्ति के दिल में जीवित रहता है। यहां भारत से कोई व्यक्ति जब विदेश जाता है और उसे वहां एक भी भारतीय मूल का व्यक्तित्व या व्यक्ति मिल जाता है, तो उसे लगता है कि उसे पूरा भारत मिल गया। यानी आप जहां रहते हैं, भारत को अपने साथ रखते हैं। बीते 8 वर्षों में देश ने अपने डायस्पोरा को ताकत देने के लिए हर संभव प्रयास किया है। आज भारत का ये कमिटमेंट है कि आप दुनिया में कहीं भी रहेंगे, देश आपके हितों और अपेक्षाओं के लिए आपके साथ रहेगा। मैं गयाना के राष्ट्रपति जी और सूरीनाम के राष्ट्रपति जी का भी हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं, अभिनंदन करता हूं कि इस महत्वपूर्ण समारोह के लिए उन्होंने समय निकाला और उन्होंने जितनी बातें आज हमारे सामने रखी है, वे वाकई बहुत उपयोगी हैं। और मैं उनको विश्वास दिलाता हूं कि जिन सुझावों को उन्होंने रखा है, उस पर भारत जरूर खरा उतरेगा। मैं गयाना जी के राष्ट्रपति जी का भी बहुत आभारी हूं कि उन्होंने आज काफी पुरानी यादें साझा की, क्योंकि जब मैं गयाना गया तो मैं कुछ भी नहीं था, मुख्यमंत्री भी नहीं था, और तब का नाता उन्होंने याद करके निकाला। मैं उनका बहुत बहुत आभारी हूं। मैं फिर एक बार आप सभी प्रवासी भारतीय दिवस के लिए इस समारोह में आए, बीच के गैप के बाद मिलने का मौका मिला है। मेरी तरफ से आपको अनेक अनेक शुभकामनाएं हैं। बहुत लोगों से मिलना होगा, बहुत लोग चीजें जानने को मिलेगी, जिसे लेकर के, उन स्मृतियों को लेकर के फिर अपने कार्य क्षेत्र में लौटेंगे, अपने रिस्पेक्टिव कंट्री में जाएंगे। मुझे विश्वास है कि भारत के साथ जुड़ाव का एक नया युग शुरू होगा, मेरी आपको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं. धन्यवाद.
During this convention, a commemorative postal stamp, Surakshit Jaye, Prashikshit Jaye, was released to underline the importance of safe, legal, orderly and skilled migration from India. The Prime Minister also inaugurated the first ever digital Pravasi Bharaitya Divas exhibition on the theme Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav, contribution of diaspora in Indian freedom struggle, to highlight the contribution of our diaspora freedom fighters in India's independence. This year, Honorable President of India awarded the prestigious Pravasi Bharaitya Samman to two distinguished diaspora members from the United States, Mr. Raj Subramaniam, President and CEO of FedEx Corporation, the world's largest express transportation company, and Mr. Darshan Singh Dhaliwal, having business set up in gasoline and real estate sector in the US. Mr. Raj Subramaniam has expressed his thoughts in a video message for today's program.
I'm very honored to receive the Pravasi Bharaitya Samman Award from the Government of India. I accept this award on behalf of hundreds of thousands of FedEx team members around the world who go above and beyond the call of duty every single day. Thank you very much.
Mr. Darshan Singh Dhaliwal, who migrated here in the 70s, has helped over 1,000 people from India, more than 1,000 people from India, to set up businesses and gain employment in the US, in addition to contributing millions for social causes in India, along with in Punjab. The theme of this year's Pravasi Bharatiya Convention was Diaspora, Reliable Partners for India's Progress in Amrit Kal. Now I invite distinguished members of the Indian diaspora present with us today, who have remained connected with their roots, who are contributing their own share in one form or the other for the development of the country, as well as empowering fellow Indians in the US and back in India to present their thoughts here. To start with, Mr. Ravi Pulli, founder, president and CEO of International Solutions Group, an IT services company and an active Indian philanthropist. Raviji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ambassador Ranganathan ji and all the officers in the embassy here. This was a surprise to me that called me to make some statements. So I came to this country in 1997. I am from a very small remote village in India. For those who do not know, it's a district called Warangal, one of the aspirational districts of India. And I'm a first generation graduate, immigrant and also entrepreneur. I run an IT services company out here. I am currently organizing a business idea competition for the world. It's a global competition which is predominantly in US and India. So I would like to proudly tell you all friends here that India has changed a lot from the time that I came here, from today, as you all know. So I want to share one experience with you that I am currently, organizing. Last year, we did a business idea competition globally. There were about 1,000 ideas pitched from India, and the remaining, from here, couple of hundred from US, and the remaining from rest of the world. And guess what? There were 3 prizes that we gave away, and one of them went to a girl in Rajasthan who built a brick patented business idea, which where she is demanding now investment at her own valuation. So that clearly shows that today the talent in India and the resources we have and the support that government is providing, India can now serve the world. India has been, of course, serving the world. Large services organizations are from India, as we all know. Let's say example, you take Infosys. The CEO recently released a video that they are also a startup. When they started. Today, they are a global company. So I look forward to many more such companies coming up from India and serving the world, not only US but the world. We are already serving the world, sitting in India, working 24 hours a day, right? Many people now started working from their own hometowns, even villages, with the connections that we have. Even I myself also worked hard in getting a 4G connection in my village during the pandemic. So I want to really thank the government of India, who's really working day and night and bringing these resources to every nook and corner of India. And we still, of course, need a lot to be done. But I'm very hopeful that the youth in India, as we all know that we have the largest number of youth, around 600 million or so, are there in India today, are ready to serve in any field all over the world. Right? As you all know, today the unicorns in tech industry, since I come from tech industry, I would like to throw a few there, that the SaaS companies can be operated from anywhere in the world. So you don't know where you are getting the data from. You don't know where somebody is taking your call when you call for something, right? So that can be somebody in your own village, sitting in your own house, can work for a company like Amazon, which is happening from my village. After we got the 4G connection, there are many youth in my village today work for Amazon. So which is completely out of a dream, right? So that means a company like Amazon can be set up in India, with the infrastructure and the talent that we have, and we are the largest STEM graduates in the world. So STEM is the most important area that we see, that in every industry STEM is more and more important thing. So I want to thank all the officers here giving me this opportunity to share my experience. I'm also executive board member on Pratham, which provides educational support to all the underprivileged children, and also the government schools where they don't have digital access or so on. Been on the board for almost 10-11 years. And I'm also a very active member in the communities here, helping anybody who wants to start a business, has any questions. Since I'm the first generation guy who came here, third day I called an immigration lawyer and a business lawyer, and I figured out how things work. So feel free to reach out, and also reach out to the government here. Is also very friendly for somebody who is working here. And then similarly now the Indian government is also setting up a gift city there, and we see there is going to be a tremendous future opportunities for diaspora to work with India, invest in India, because the investments that you do in India now are as good as that you invest in US. Because a lot of venture capital firms today are in US and India, and they don't differentiate whether they invest in India or in the US. Or even as an investor myself, all I see is a better opportunity where I can go and invest. Thank you, and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Raviji, and appreciate your noble efforts, especially empowering the underprivileged back in India. Taking forward, I invite Mr. Jaskaran Singh, a young professional serving in World Bank, Washington, D.C.
Thank you very much, and good evening to everyone. My name is Jaskaran Singh, and I'm currently working at the World Bank in Washington, D.C. It is an absolute honor for me to share thoughts on the critical role of Indian diaspora in strengthening the Indo-American relationships and building a collaborative path in promoting India's progress in the Amrit Kal, the period of 25 years, referred to as the Amrit Kal 2022 to 2045, marks the beginning of a new era where India strives to discover the best in every field, initiates new and innovative projects to contribute to creating a socially responsible and economically prosperous society. 2047 as the target year marks the centenary of Indian independence, reminding us of the courage, willpower, and determination of our freedom fighters, through which the largest democracy in the world, the Indian democracy, was born. Since 1947, we have come a long way, especially in terms of diplomatic ties and long-term partnerships. One such example is the 75 years old Indo-American relationship, which has continued to flourish and is based on shared interests of global security, stability, and economic prosperity through trade, investment, and connectivity. At the heart of this relationship lies the significant role of the Indian American diaspora, ranging from the economic trade and investment to science and technology, academia and educational exchange. The presence and commitment of the Indian diaspora has become more prevalent than ever. In terms of statistics, the Indian American diaspora comprises of more than 4 million individuals, thus making it as one of the fastest growing ethnic groups in the country. More than 200,000 Indian students enrich the American academic landscape and contribute towards one of the highly educated and culturally diverse student groups in the US. As far as entrepreneurship is concerned, almost a third of the Indian American diaspora have been founders in the startup industry. As a flourishing community, we have and are achieving so much while proudly representing our country, its invaluable heritage and rich culture on foreign soils. As we proceed forward in the Amrit Kal, it is of considerable significance to further identify key areas where the Indian American diaspora can create value and help align with the 2047 vision. There exists a unique economic opportunity for the diaspora to continue advocating and actively contributing to the several Indian initiatives, such as the Make in India campaign, the Invest in India campaign, and the Digital India campaign. In terms of social and human development, the opportunity for the diaspora exists in facilitating effective exchange of ideas, knowledge transfer, and creating cultural and social awareness. As the Indian American diaspora, we have a vital role to play and fulfill our responsibilities to foster a mutually beneficial Indo-American relationship. Towards the end, I would like to thank and congratulate the Indian Embassy in Washington, D.C., and all the Indian missions abroad for binding the diaspora together on foreign lands through various cultural activities, festive events, and other outreach programs in the political, economic, and social fronts. By connecting and engaging with the Indian missions, it is probably one of the most convenient ways for the diaspora of staying close to the country and community while still being abroad. To conclude, as proud Indo-American diaspora, let's do our bit by excelling in our fields while promoting our diverse culture and rich heritage. Let's continue to align with the vision of Amrit Kal and contribute towards promoting India's potential as a major world economy. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Presence of experts like you in multilateral institutions here definitely helps us achieve our developmental goals back home. Thank you. Mr. Ravi Chopra, an active member of Indian diaspora and also an expert from IT field.
Namaskar. Thanks for giving me the opportunity for coming here and expressing my views. I am Ravi Chopra. I migrated to the USA from India in 1969 and now retired after 44 years of successful career in the field of information technology. My wife Shashi Chopra is also retired after a 10 years career in banking and a proud owner of a successful business for over 27 years in the hospitality industry. In 1986, driven by a desire to fulfill the spiritual, religious, and the cultural needs of the Hindus in the greater Washington metro area, along with 6 other families, we became founder members of Rajdhani Mandir in Chantilly, Virginia. We joined India Literacy Project, Washington DC chapter, and assisted in organizing many fundraising events and raised funds to help underprivileged women and children for education in the remote areas in India. Gandhiji's political contributions offered us independence, but his ideologies enlighten India as well as the world even today. After so many years, we founded Gandhi Global Family USA to promote Gandhiji's ideology and spread his message of peace and respect for all religions. My wife Shashi Chopra is a founder and board member of Gandhi Global Family USA, established in 2015 to promote Gandhiji's ideology. Non-violence as a principle remains relevant, especially today with so much going on around us in the world. Today, more than 4.7 million Indian immigrants live in the United States. US-based Indian diaspora immigrants can help in the progress of India in countless ways. With the help of the diaspora, Indians can use soft powers to help India by promoting our various cultures, religions, and languages. For example, celebrating major Indian festivals helps to create awareness and acknowledgement of Indian culture among us young people. Indian can help the political associations in America by forming better relationships. To improve the relationship and help India progress, Indians living in America should donate funds and resources to the needy as individuals or as organizations. Through Global Seva Fund, a non-profit charity founded by us, we partner with Cuddles Foundation in India and has been supporting nutritional supplement programs for underprivileged children fighting with cancer at AIMS Hospital, New Delhi, India for the last 7 years. Indians are counted among the most affluent communities around the world. This source of capital can be tapped by encouraging them to invest in India. Also, taking advantage of their corporate leadership positions in the Silicon Valley and other technological sectors, Indian diaspora can be facilitated to contribute to Indian development. It is important to make the diaspora feel respected. We expect them to contribute to the development of the country. Therefore, it is critical to have two-way communications to understand their problems and design the policies accordingly. The Indian government needs to create an outreach strategy to leverage them as a source of investment and capital for the domestic industry. By encouraging the level of involvement of the Indian diaspora, India is going to benefit immensely in the next 25 years and achieve the goal of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Mr. Chopra and Mrs. Chopra, for offering your expertise in your field from time to time, for extending financial support to the needy in medical field, in healthcare, education, and also for spreading the message of the Mahatma here in US. Next, I invite Mr. Srujan Palkar, a young student at Johns Hopkins School of Advanced International Studies, to present his thoughts.
Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in his inaugural address, said that all Pravasi Bharatiyas are brand ambassadors of India. Today, as I stand here as a brand ambassador in front of the actual ambassador, I am deeply honored and excited. Honorable ladies and gentlemen, my name is Srujan Palkar. I'm a master's student at Johns Hopkins School of Advanced International Studies with a focus on India-China-US relations. At the university, I'm the founding president of the South Asia Society, which seeks to be the bridge between scholars and culture. In my time in the US, I have come to realize just how mighty is brand India. For example, in my spare time, I teach yoga to my friends, not just Americans, but from all around the world. And every time I teach, I get to see the faith that people from around the world have in Indian practices. I remember discussing my yoga practice with some friends, and just to see what happens, I said, you know what, for the next week, all of us should wake up at 6 a.m. to do yoga. Nearly 10 friends signed up. And the next morning, all 10 showed up. And the morning after that, all 10 again. They all practiced yoga with me at 6 a.m. for an entire week. It was my first experience of being the bridge to Indian culture. And I've had the opportunity to see the power of being the bridge so many times. I live in the International Student House of Washington, D.C., which hosts 100 resident scholars from over 40 countries, including the United States. And we held a Christmas concert. First came the piece on the piano, then by the guitar, and finally I played the tabla. There was a rousing response from a power-packed audience of scholars from over 40 countries, executives from big companies, ex-ambassadors and secretaries of the US government. And all of them were seeing, hearing, experiencing the tabla for the first time in their lives. And for the finale, I started playing a tune, and when the piano and guitar joined in, it became the Christmas classic Jingle Bells song. And they were awestruck by this more than 2,000-year-old instrument that through the Jingle Bells tune could add Christmas joy. It was the most heartwarming experience of being the bridge to Indian music. And I cannot forget the most recent experience. I took an American ambassador to one of the best Indian restaurants in Washington, D.C. And we were talking about the US, about India, about the next 25 years, over fabulous food that sent us into a culinary Amrit Kal. Because you see, we started with chaat, then we went to chicken chettinad with butter naan, and then ended with rasmalai. And while we were chatting, he asked me, so where in India are all of these dishes from? And in giving my answer of the diversity of India represented by these dishes, I felt like I was on a stage giving the most important TED talk I could ever give. Because after I stopped speaking, there was a standing ovation. Not just for my speech, but because now he wanted to order masala chai. The dinner with the ambassador was the most appetizing experience of being the bridge to Indian cuisine. I have countless stories where my friends here in the United States have shown their interest in India and Indianness. All I had to do as a Pravasi Bharatiya was be the bridge. And that can be the biggest contribution of the Indian diaspora, to be the bridge, so that we can give anything from our Indianness, things like healthy living, mesmerizing music, or flavorful food. And when we give, we most certainly shall receive things that we can give back to India, fulfilling our destiny of being the bridge. Because that's the faith Indians, Americans, and everyone in the world has of us as brand ambassadors of India, in the United States to be the bridge to the Amrit Kal of India-US relations. Thank you.
Appreciate your active efforts for spreading the message of brand India here in DC. Srujan is an active member from Johns Hopkins in connecting with basically the educational institutions in Greater Washington DC in cultural as well as educational field. Thank you, Srujan. Next, I invite Mr. Madhu Kadari, an electrical engineer who is working on Hubble Space Telescope Vision System for the NASA Goddard. Also a treasurer and board member of the International Association for Human Values. Madhuji.
Namaste. Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity to come and speak. So wonderful to be here, and it's an honor to share my thoughts. Madhu Kadari, I also represent the Art of Living Foundation, founded by Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, and the other organization which I'm board member is also founded by Gurudev. So one of the things, Srijan, you pretty much spoke what I was going to say in your own experience. And this is something I remember hearing from Gurudev several years back as some of the unique things that India can contribute, and these are some of the soft powers that we as Indians, diaspora, can actually share this in our day-to-day life. Obviously, one of the things that the first thing you mentioned was the science and technology. I mean, obviously now we have really created a name. Indians are now none to others in the area of science and technology. The best companies, IT companies and the technology companies have Indians and the CEOs, and anywhere in the world, Indians are considered as the best technology specialists, and especially in science too. And it's in our DNA. I mean, given that we come from an heritage where science has been, our strength. So we are, I think, math and science comes to us very naturally. The second aspect that India can boast about is the tourism, which often has not been, I think we have not shown our strength, especially the spiritual tourism. There's so much demand for it. We have been conducting some through our programs. We do several programs in the universities. We have 105 universities where we do our programs, and then we conduct the spiritual tourism where we collect. And there's incredible demand. So spiritual tourism, ecotourism, and I think even Prime Minister Modi, I think, recently mentioned that as in diaspora members, each one of us should aim to send at least one, non-Indian to India every year. This is something I think, like mentioned, meeting people and telling what India has to offer, because it's such an experience. Going to India is not just going for sightseeing, it is the culture, the diversity. I mean, it has so much to offer. The third aspect is the food, which you are mentioning. I mean, I think in one state, I remember we had done an event, Gujarat, in 6 years back. There were 5,000 different varieties of vegetarian dishes that were made. No other country can boast something like this. I mean, in one state, 5,000. And given the growing, demand for veganism and vegetarianism, I think India has so much to offer. And we, I think, as diaspora members, we can definitely spread this message and our cuisine. Because it's not just the food, it has so much to offer in terms of how it can affect our mind too. The amount of research that has been done on food in India, and this is something that we need to let the world know. The next aspect is the music and dance. The diversity, we all know how much India has to offer. And the music that connects us to the self, the classical music that connects us to the self. This is something, again, we can promote. I'm happy to share that this year, Art of Living is going to host a World Culture Festival at the National Mall.
in September. You're all invited, you're all participate, you will get to know more about it. The last event we did in New Delhi, there were about 3.5 million people, and people from 150 countries came to participate, and every state's music and dance was represented there. About 50 countries represented, their music, and so it's an Olympic scale. It's going to be a fantastic event again. So this is something that we all can contribute. The other is Ayurveda. This is again where I think we have so much to contribute. I think it is catching up. I see that Costco is now selling ashwagandha, but there's so much more. Just last week, I came to one of our herbal medicines, Art of Living, Sri Sri Tattva has done for knock 19, which is treatment for. I shouldn't call it a treatment, but it is but it does deal with the COVID. It has been proven by the Stanford University as 100% effective, and this is a purely herbal. And so this, obviously it needs a lot more research to be done, but I think India has a lot to contribute to the world in the field of Ayurveda. And the final thing that I want to mention is the yoga, meditation, the spirituality, and that's where that's my favorite. And we have been teaching meditation through Art of Living Foundation. Here we have close to 1,500 instructors in the country who have been teaching India's great tradition of yoga meditation. The Washington DC Mayor's Office actually offers this program to its residents for free of cost. It has been just last, the Time magazine edition was publishing about the pranayama, the Sudarshan Kriya, breathing place, and how it is effective in treating with PTS in war veterans. It has so much solutions to offer. The world is grappling with mental health problems, and I think our tradition, our knowledge from India has so much to offer as solutions to this world. So thank you all for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts. Wonderful day.
Thank you, Madhuji, for not only your expertise in the field of science, but spreading the message of ancient Indian wisdom here in US. To conclude today's program, I would like to bring out various programs being implemented by the Government of India for Indian diaspora, especially the youngsters. To start with, Know India program of the Ministry of External Affairs is a 3-week orientation program in India for diaspora youth of the age 18 to 35, conducted with a view to promote awareness on different facets of life in India and the progress made by the country in various fields, entirely sponsored by Government of India. And we would request you basically to spread a message about these programs run by Government of India, especially amongst youngsters, young diaspora here. Next is scholarship program for diaspora children. This is for children of overseas Indians, both PIOs as well as NRIs, with the objective to make higher education in Indian universities, institutions accessible to diaspora. Under this scholarship program, academic fees for graduation and higher education in Indian institutes is reimbursed by the government. Global Pravasi Rishta portal has been launched by the government to enable more than 30 million strong Indian diaspora across the globe to stay connected, considering the 4 C's: care for their safety and security, connect with India, celebrate their cultural heritage, and contribute to the development of the homeland. Pravasi Bharatiya Academic and Scientific Sampark, integrating Indian diaspora with the motherland, known as Prabhas. It is the portal connecting the scientific diaspora, or the diaspora can contribute can continue to work together and collaborate with Indian scientists through this portal, through discussion fora and for value R&D projects, trainings, webinars, fellowships, etc., aimed at addressing the identified challenges and problems through science and technology interventions. Promotion of cultural ties with Indian diaspora. is implemented again by Ministry of External Affairs, wherein financial assistance is given for implementation of cultural programs in various countries with the participation of diaspora. Pravasi Tirth Darshan Yojana is in association with Indian Railways, IRCTC basically, for the PIOs in the age group 45 to 60 years to connect them to the spiritual and religious aspects of India. And lastly, Annapurna certificate awarded by the Indian Council of Cultural Relations, ICCR, for Indian restaurants abroad. Such programs for diaspora run from time to time are published on Embassy's website as well as social media handles, and you are requested to spread a word about such programs for the benefit of young diaspora members. We appreciate your presence today, and we wish all Pravasis a happy, fulfilling new year. Do join us over some refreshments. Thank you.